Recently, 589 Bitcoin disappeared from single-sig cold storage wallets. The idea that holding your own keys offers unconditional safety shattered along with those accounts. This wasn't the result of a phishing scam or a compromised seed phrase written on paper. It was a failure of the hardware itself, specifically a firmware bug found in older versions of the Coldcard wallet. The vulnerability involves a lack of entropy. Because the random number generation used to create keys was mathematically predictable, attackers could deduce private keys without ever gaining physical access to the device. The exploit specifically targeted single-signature, non-taproot wallets. This meant users who followed every standard security protocol still watched their balances drop to zero. For the first time, the core principle of not your keys, not your crypto has a major caveat. Casual self-custody now carries a high level of hidden technical liability. While hardware users scan their firmware versions for bugs, institutional interest is moving in the opposite direction. Spot ETFs and professional custody platforms are absorbing capital by promising to manage these technical risks on behalf of the investor. This shift happens alongside a massive regulatory push in Washington. The impending Clarity Act provides the legislative framework for banks to fully integrate digital assets. Figureheads like Scott Bessent publicly push for these regulated rails. They see these systems as a way to manage sovereign debt through traditional, compliant channels. This creates a new dilemma. You can no longer rely on a basic hardware wallet as a set-and-forget solution. You have to actively choose between the technical burden of self-sovereignty or the counterparty risk of Wall Street. We are going to look past the tribalism and map out the 3 real-world paths for holding crypto today, including the specific inputs and trade-offs required for each. Path 1 is upgraded self-custody. To stay in this quadrant, you must increase technical commitment. For single-sig users, this means using analog entropy and a custom passphrase. The highest tier is multi-sig architecture, requiring multiple devices to ensure no single bug compromises your stack. This path provides true censorship resistance. Your assets are immune to government freezes or centralized platform failures. The trade-off is that you accept 100% of the technical liability. If you mismanage your keys or forget your passphrase, there is no support team to call. Your wealth is gone. Path 2 is institutional abstraction. This drops into the bottom left corner of the chart. It requires the least effort but offers the least sovereign control. By using spot ETFs or institutional custody platforms, you are relying on Wall Street's multi-billion-dollar security infrastructure to handle the keys for you. These systems prioritize deep financial infrastructure and regulated settlement over the original decentralized ethos. They are built for cross-border liquidity and treasury management. The primary benefit here is peace of mind. You are no longer responsible for firmware updates, seed backups, or entropy failures. However, you do not own a bearer asset, you own an IOU. You trade away your financial privacy, and you are fully exposed to government asset freezes and platform insolvency. Path 3, tax-advantaged custody, is a hybrid. It sits in the middle left, serving investors who want to optimize for long-term growth rather than immediate access. In a self-directed crypto IRA, you can trade or stake assets without generating an immediate capital gains tax event. This can be a massive engine for wealth. Following models set by investors like Peter Thiel, some have legally shielded billions using the Roth IRA. The trade-off is that your capital is locked behind age-based penalties until you are 59 and a half, and you still rely on a third-party trust to hold the assets. Ask yourself, what is your primary fear? Government overreach or a technical mistake? To protect against surveillance, commit to Path 1. You must learn multisig. If technical risks scare you, branch into Path 2 or 3. Practical choices for long-term investors. There is no single safest setup. Safety is entirely relative to whether you have the technical skills required to act as your own bank, or if you prefer to rent Wall Street's vault. The macro reality is that institutional rails are actively replacing the early decentralized networks of the last decade. In periods of economic stress, governments historically intervene to control hard assets. This is why institutions prefer private ledgers, even as sovereign money remains a target. In this environment, sticking with an unpatched single-signature setup carries the same technical vulnerabilities that just cost users hundreds of Bitcoin. Decide today if you are a technical sovereign or an institutional investor. Choose a path, learn its requirements, and fortify your portfolio accordingly.